Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday, my time. Happy whatever day it is your time. We are going to start another plant chores video today, and I'm going to be going through essentially my entire week worth of plant chores with you here in this video. So it's probably going to be a bit of a long one. Might be something that you would want to grab some plant chores for yourself and do them along with me, or like a craft, grab a beverage. We can chill, we can chat, we can do plant things. I can show you what's going on, and we can get things done together. That's the plan. Before I get into it though, I want to say if you're new here and you don't know me already, hi, my name is Emma and I make houseplanty content all over the internet. So if you want to follow along with my houseplanty journey and maybe learn something along the way, stick around, watch some more of my videos and subscribe to my channel. If you are not new here, welcome back. I really appreciate you returning. So I have like somewhat of a list. I've written it down here of things that I want to be doing over the course of this week. I have something I want to mail out. I feel like that's kind of first order of business because it's Monday and you want to get those out as early in the week as possible so they don't just sit in the post over the weekend. So if that's probably the first thing that I'm going to need to do today. And then I've got some repotting, I've got some moss pole stuff, general like watering and stuff around. I think I've got some things that are dry and could use a water, and we can just generally go through everything together. I'm excited for it. So let us get started now with getting that package packed, and we can send that off into the post and carry on with Monday. Now we can quickly run to the post office. It's Monday morning. Hopefully this should arrive by tomorrow or Wednesday at the latest. Fingers crossed. I'm going to do 24-hour craft shipping. So it could come as early as tomorrow. I think I also want to reset these begonias because down the bottom they are a little bit sparse and they have just gotten to the top of my red stick cabinet, and so I feel like it's, oh my goodness, yeah, this is like fully trapped in there. It is over the top. Yeah, this is ready to be chopped and propped, I think, and we can get these sorted out. Oh yeah, look at this. The Sophie Cecile especially needs a good chop because it barely has any leaves down at the bottom. I think it would do so much better just kind of being restarted, and then I can restart from 3 cuttings on this one because when I grew it originally it was just 1 down here. So if we can restart from a fuller plant point, I think I would be happier with it. I'm gonna do this from the bedroom floor just because it's a little bit easier. But first things first, I want this container to propagate them in. And this is full of crazily rooted cuttings. Like, look at those. They're insane. But I am planning on sending this plant to someone soon. I don't remember exactly which begonia that is. I think it's the angel wing, the begonia coccinea or something. And so I am just going to put it into a cup with semi-hydro because I find that to be the easiest way. And then they can kind of do what they wish with it pot-wise. The thing is, I do have more stuff to send out. I just don't have any more boxes right now. So I'm just waiting for a couple more deliveries of like my own stuff. And then from there I can ship some more stuff out, which will be good. It's nice to like have that big clear out that I shared, I think last week. Yeah, last week. Timings of all of this, who knows? But I think I may as well cut there and take this leaf off. So I've got a nice big cutting, and I genuinely am just going to pop these into the exact same water that the old stuff was in. But I feel so much better having done my big clear out. Like, it is crazy how much like having breathing room changes everything. Like, even just in the bedroom, so many of you mentioned how much you prefer the bedroom without all of the like pothos in the ceiling, and I definitely agree with that. I think it looks a whole heck of a lot better in here now. It's like more spacious and everything. And so I'm really glad that I made that choice. I was gonna put both the Thurstonii and the Sophie Cecile in one, but I think this is full enough. I don't think I could fit much more in here without making it like way too difficult to get out in a bit. But yeah, I feel so much like more relaxed having made those decisions. And like, while some people were mad at me for throwing stuff away, sometimes it just needs to happen like that. All right, like that is just what needed to happen at the time for my own sanity. I have spent like several hours following that video, like dealing with figuring out how to send people stuff and getting things collected and blah blah blah. And so the fact that I spent several hours after the clean out, which also took several hours, it's like it just piles on and piles on. And so the fact that I've done anything, I'm proud of. But I also didn't need to. Oh my goodness, this is so ridiculous. Like, internodal spacing. Look at the length of that internodal spacing in there on the Thurstonii. Come on. It's like, it's so long, but that's okay. So I am just going to be quite brutal with these cuts, I think. And this is something that you could do with any begonia. I've found that starting things over is actually quite a nice way to downsize as well. And I'm actually thinking about doing this as similar with the Coralina de Lucerna that's on my bedside table, because it is such a large begonia. It takes up quite a lot of room, and so cutting it into something smaller and like more manageable is not a bad idea. So, tempted to do that with that one as well. Not sure if I will or not. We will see. Maybe I'll do it in this video. Maybe I'll do it later in this video. Ooh. Things to consider for sure. Yeah, I don't think I would have been able to fit any of these things, or all of these cuttings in the same jar as the other one, because it is quite big. Oh my god, look at that length of the petiole on that. Crazy. Okay. Maybe I don't include that one. Yeah. Just got a jar of lukewarm water, so it's not like cold. And with cane begonias specifically, I don't feel the need to whatchamacallit, they don't need to callus or anything. They are, from my experience, totally fine just going straight in to the water, which is nice. I don't have to like worry about trying to make sure it's dry enough to succeed. So there we go. Beautiful. I've got my Thurstonii bouquet and my Sophie Cecile bouquets. Oh, I'm just dripping water. Whoops. But those look so nice. Happy with that. And I'm gonna do it. I am just going to bin the bottom bits of these plants because, like, yes, in theory I could propagate them. I could wait for them to put out new growth. I don't need to do that if I don't want to. I am just going to pull them out of the semi-hydro and just accept that they, like, I don't need them. It's like pruning the plant. I've basically pruned the plant, and that is okay. So glad to have made those decisions as well. I'm just continuing on trying to downsize and declutter my collection a little bit because the overwhelm is getting less overwhelming the more I do. Who knew? Oh my goodness, excuse my out of breathness. I just ran up 2 flights of stairs to get back to the flat, but I just sold some more plants to a very lovely guy who, funny story, kind of. I mean, I'm not fully surprised, but I'm also kind of surprised because, like, I don't expect people to know who I am. But I posted the plants that I didn't sell on Instagram on Facebook earlier today on the, like, rare plant thing, and I was like, London collection only, and got a couple comments. This one guy, he was like, I want these ones, and I ended up just giving him the whole lot because I was just like, pay for the ones you want, you can have the rest, and like, that's totally fine. I'll throw in some bonus ones as well. And like, he was able to come by today, and I meet him outside, and he's like, oh my god, I know who you are, and I'm like, hi. And I'm like still so awkward when I meet people, but honestly, he was just the loveliest guy. If you're watching, hello, I hope your plants are doing well, and they're loving their new home. But yeah, good to get rid of them, and I like, it just makes me feel so much better knowing that they're going to a good home, than just like a random stranger. I mean, obviously this guy, I don't know him, but like, I feel like if he watches my videos, he knows me, so it's like I'm not a stranger, if that makes sense. I don't know the logic behind this, but it like feels good to get them gone, and I don't have to stress about them anymore. I can take that post down because they're gone, and finally just getting all of those plants out feels so good. I do have a few more to post, but like I said, waiting for boxes on those. But it's getting dark now, and I think I'm just going to do some editing, admin, non-planty things, and I will pick back up again tomorrow when we're going to do some moss pole business, because I've got several things that I'm like, they need to chop or extend or whatever, because I've just been lazy about it, to be honest. So we're going to do some work on that tomorrow. So see you then. Okay, I have set up an area here to do some moss pole stuff, which is kind of long overdue, to be honest. It's just, doing moss pole stuff just takes effort and time, and it makes a mess. I didn't even grab my moss. got the moss. But it just like takes time and effort, and it's kind of annoying, so I kind of procrastinate it, but we gotta do it today because I want my plants to do well, and there's some things that definitely need to be done. Like, I suppose the first one we can do is my philodendron splendid here, which, oh my goodness, can you see how nice this looks at the top? It's looking so good. So, because the bottom's not looking terrible, I think I am just going to put an extension on the top. It is basically begging for one up here with these bits. They have roots on them that want a new place to live. Also, I never unwrapped this one after Christmas. I wrapped this with the skinny cling film that I used to pack the plant earlier in this video. It is so useful for this kind of stuff. I will be sure to link it and literally everything I use in all of my videos down below in the description. So if you want to try it for yourself, I just got it off of Amazon. It was like not that expensive or difficult to find, but it makes it so much easier to get in between those smaller sections. And previously I was literally cutting my cling film in half, and so the fact that I don't have to do that, it's just already in half, is great. But oh my gosh, there's so much new growth actually since I went away. I say that because there's a lot that's over the top of the cling film, which I wouldn't have left stuff over the top of the cling film. So I did kind of prep a pole for this in advance, insofar as I measured, because these aren't my sort of normal poles that I use. They are slightly smaller, and they are not the front opening ones, which I now prefer. And so I am putting a front opening one on it, but this one was a little bit too wide width-wise, so I went along and I cut in there, and I also soldered holes on either side, so I will be able to attach it, and it will go slightly wider at the top, but I think that's kind of okay. I don't think it'll be too big of an issue, but I probably should put more moss in. Let me shift you so you can see what I'm doing better. It's suddenly gotten really dark. It was sunny earlier, kind of annoying. But I've just got some moss here. This is stuff from old moss poles, so it's already a bit shredded, but that's okay. I'm just going to stuff it. It just makes a heck of a lot of mess. But I kind of feel like the elephant in the room is that we have rearranged the flat, like massively. Like, we have a desk here now, Joe's desk. Our couch is no longer in the living room, and big things are changing. We just like really fancied a change, and so my plants are all kind of in a bit of a different place at the minute, and I haven't exactly figured out where I want to put all of them, and that is a little bit frustrating, to be honest. Like, I want to make sure that my plants are getting the ideal care, and unfortunately, like, it's hard to know if they're getting the right care in a spot until they've been there for a little bit. Obviously, you can, like, the light levels and like whether it's under a grow light or not will be pretty freaking obvious. But in terms of like whether or not I like a plant in a specific spot, that's not as obvious, at least for a little bit. And so I am kind of in a little bit of a limbo, and I feel like I've not yet quite found like a filming space in this new rearrange. Like, I feel like I used to have a lovely background where the sideboard was, and like I quite liked that, but now I don't have that space, and it's not a problem. Like, I'm not upset about it, because I think it's for the best in the long run with our sort of like, I don't know, how we want to keep our home. But it just does feel a little bit weird and different, and I'm not used to it. And so I'm still finding my flow, and I will ask y'all to bear with me while I do, because it's not perfect yet, and I don't think it'll ever be perfect necessarily, but we've basically tried to make it so we have more physical space. Like, you can see how much space we have in the living room. We wanted to have that space, and we weren't getting that with the couch. I love our couch. I don't want to change our couch because I love it, but like the size it was for the size of the room that we have, and so we have put it into the office, aka the second bedroom in our flat for now, to hopefully just change things up. And like, who knows, we could change it again if we decide we don't like it. But I think having this space here is really, really nice, so we're glad we've done it so far. But it is just a really weird thing to have things be in different spots and to like not be quite sure how everything sort of fits correctly in your home. Like, I don't think we've quite sussed it, but we're getting there. I am just attaching these two poles together with cable ties so that they are secure. And it's not quite perfect, like I said. It's a bit odd because the pole sizes don't match up, and I don't have another one of these sort of smaller poles. So you can see here what I have done, because I wanted the new pole to be inside the old one, but I have just clipped it so it's going around the wire still, going around the back of this one still, but I soldered a hole into the inside new pole and just fed the zip tie through all of that, and that has worked quite well. And I'm not going to put actually any more moss in the top of this, because more moss, the more I have to keep wet, which is kind of annoying. So I am just going to clippy these guys in, and hopefully their roots will merge into the pole soon. There we go. And now we have so much room for this one, which is exciting. I'll show you in a second the office slash second bedroom slash kind of where I work now on the couch. I don't know, it's all a bit confusing, like I said. But I'll show you that in a bit, because that's where this one and the Ernestii, which is the next one I'm gonna do, are living. And again, I did not unwrap this one after I went away. I don't know if it quite needs an extension yet, because I still have room here. But I was thinking with this one, because pretty much all of the bottom leaves have dropped off over time, I haven't given this one the very best in care. So although it's sized up nicely, it's not looking, it's like tip top as it is. And so I'm just gonna cut off the bottom and it'll be a smaller one for a little bit. Yeah, like there's so much down here that just doesn't have any leaves on it. And the like join is right there. So I would only be losing a couple of leaves at the bottom, and they're all the small ones anyway. So I'm really not stressed about it. Let me lay this down, because I think that would be the easiest way to go about it. And yes, I have laid out all 3 of my potting mats in order to try and have to hoover up as little as possible. Will it work? Who knows? So the bottom of that pole is there. So I can cut these guys there. Do I only have 2 strands up to that point? I suppose so. And then hopefully, okay, yeah, that was so easy. It looks like the roots haven't gone terribly deep in the pole. They hadn't gone too far down. Like, they are still there. Like, that's a root, but they're not like going all the way down to the bottom, which does sometimes happen with philodendrons. So I'm just going to pull out a lot of this bottom stuff, as well as remove these bottommost leaves. Probably up to there, because all of that's going to be underneath the soil. And so there's kind of no point in having those leaves in that spot. And I can just take this moss that I'm taking out and chuck it in the top as well. I feel like that would be kind of perfect. There's no need to get all of the moss off the roots, but that is sort of what we are working with root-wise, which is looking really, really nice. There's lots of lovely roots in there that are coming down from up above. So I am just gonna pop this moss in the top. There we go. Yeah, I don't think it needs an extension quite yet. But I am, however, going to use the pot that it was in, if I can get it out, and the soil as well if I can. Not that I don't have enough soil, but if I can reuse it, it would be better. And one of the easy things about these moss poles as well is it's so much easier to get the moss off and recycle them, because I'm not going to keep this bottom bit. And I suppose in theory I could go try and find someone who wants to take it off me, but I don't feel like it. So I'm not gonna. But I can take the moss out of that essentially and reuse it. But put that there. And then what I will need to do is do some holes in, solder some holes to match those in that. So I have the soldering iron in the kitchen. It's just so the cats don't get to it. So be right back 1 second. So now I've got those two holes there and there to match it. They're not exactly straight, but you know, it's fine. There we go. Now they are one in the same, which will be better for it. And I can start scooping the soil in. Okay, maybe I went a little bit high on taking out the moss, so I am just gonna shove some more in there, but that is easily done. There we go. Looking, okay, not amazing, I will admit that, but I think in time it will be happier for that. And I think I just need to make sure that I'm putting it in front of a nice bright light, because that'll make the difference with it. Okay, let me clean this stuff up a teensy bit. Okay, it is now time for the beast, which I have been putting off for far too long. I am going to extend the Manjula pothos with this guy here that I took off, my repotted but I think I need to chop and extend because I don't have the ceiling height to add that onto the top of it. So because this thing is literally taller than I am, as it is right now. So, yeah, there is a good place for me to chop it, I think. So basically I've got 3 poles all put together, and so I'm going to take the bottom third off, because I feel like that's when it's really started sizing up as well. You can see the difference in leaf size in the bottom third versus the top 2/3 is quite stark. I think it'll be for the best. The difficult part, though, is that I've had it in this pull for so long that I do think this one might be a tough one to pull apart. And I probably will have to cut some roots, unfortunately. I didn't want to have to do this, but I am just gonna go in with my snips at the bottom of this and kind of just chop. There we go. And similar to how I did the Ernestii, we're going to take all of this moss out the bottom. Oh my goodness, look how solid this piece is. Crazy. But I am gonna just use the same pot again, so I can use it to measure how high up. Honestly, I don't think I can go much higher with it. Let me take some of these leaves off. Yeah, I think that's actually quite good. You can tell it has been a minute since I have updated the pole because it's gotten to the top of this one and then I have curled the vine all the way back down and around to try and get it to like have more life in this, but that does cause it unfortunately to size down again, which like don't want. So it is a little bit annoying, but I mean, it's all my own fault. I've got no one else to blame but myself for that. Do I really want to be putting both of these on? I don't know, I feel like that's actually kind of too much. You know what I mean? So maybe I'll just put just one of them. Because then I'm losing a third and gaining a third instead of losing a third and gaining a whole. And if I take that one, if I take this one, it's already got moss. So less work for me. Yeah, I think that makes a lot more sense just to add a little bit because there's kind of no need to add so much. Because then it just gets a bit overwhelming. And like there's no way I'd be able to keep it moist enough, you know? Or at least I'd be watering stuff that doesn't need to be watered. So I think that's a much better option like that. And basically the main thing I need to do is make sure that I'm keeping the soil moist for a little while, as well as the moss. Because when I have things on moss poles, I don't always water the soil because sometimes it's just fine to just get the moisture from the moss because like most of the root system of this plant is in the pole. And so I don't always water the soil, but because I'm trying to encourage roots down there as well, essentially I want it to soil prop in the bottom. I want to make sure that it's staying moist for a little bit. But now that I've done these three, we can pop them in the shower because they need a good dust off, get all of the like funky sphagnum moss bits off, and a really, really, really thorough hydration. So these two are both adequately soaked now. I do think I'm gonna go in with another round on the big one because it is such a thick moss pole. It just takes longer to get fully wet. But these two are the ones that live in the office, so I can show you what that setup is now because it is extremely different. Oh my gosh, look at this. It is so dark in here now as well because I don't have loads and loads of grow lights. Lots have changed, but that's okay. I have this new zone, which I do still want to figure out a little bit more light on. I've got this sort of highlight section with my euphorbias and my ficuses, and then I've got some alocasias on this zone. Again, I don't know if any of this is final. It's just kind of where things fit for now. And then obviously the couch, and then there's a moss pole area there, cast irons there, and I've got a couple plants in the window now, which I didn't before. I previously had these two reversed because this one was taller and the Splendid was here, but now that the Splendid is taller, it won't fit in the window, so we're going Ernestii in the window, and then the Splendid down this side here. Okay, the lighting here is a little bit weird because of the window, so it's a bit backlit, but got the Splendid here, the Cebu blue behind it, and I think I actually might switch the two because that one's on a stand and I feel like I could bring it lower, and both of them are in front of a Mother Life Spectrum grow light, this one here, which I have asked for an extender on because they make, I think it's about a foot, it's 30 centimeters or a foot of extender, and then I could pop this on the ground. Ooh, maybe do I want a second one high? Because then I could cover this whole area. But essentially these are my Vitro shelves, which is kind of crazy. I am in the process of selling them, which is weird. So if anyone in London is interested in some Vitro shelves for plants, give me a shout because I don't feel like I need them anymore. They don't fit in this room anymore. So I got them secondhand in the first place and I'm selling them for well cheap. So give me a shout on Instagram if you fancy. I feel like they'll go pretty quick, but let me know. But I think I am just gonna switch these two over quickly. So we're in a better place. And actually I should pop more moss in the Cebu blue moss pole anyways. So maybe I'll do that and then hydrate this one too with the Manjula again. And obviously the cats are super interested in like what the heck's going on because they're not used to things being in these places. But I think if we move this one, then we can put this in there. Yeah, I do like that a little bit better. It's getting more light on like more of the plant, and then I can put the Cebu blue kind of in front of it because that one's a flatter plant as well. It's not as like spread out, so it won't be blocking as much of the light. I don't know if I like this here, but I don't know what else I have. Also, it's used to such high light. I wonder if it being in the window will be enough, plus the Life Spectrum. I don't know. For right now, that'll be what it is, but let me quickly do the moss on the Cebu blue and we can do another round of wetting of things. Okay, sweet. We can take 3 more things off the list. And if I add, put more moss into the Cebu Blue to the list, I can take that one off as well. I'm not going to just for the sake of it today. But I don't think I'm going to do any more plant stuff because, as you can tell, it is dark outside. But later in the week, not tomorrow because I've got to go to my friend's tomorrow, I need to repot some ficuses, so we will do that in a little bit. And then also, I don't exactly know when I'm going to do this because I'm a little bit nervous about it, but I got some high protein fish food. Weird, I know. But someone told me that if my pings aren't getting enough, like, food through like flies and bugs, I should probably be feeding them. Which I think I'll do later in the week. Like I said, I'm procrastinating on it a bit because it makes me nervous. I have done research on it. I have like Googled it and stuff and looked at like a bunch of Reddit forums and carnivorous plant forums, and people have said, yeah, you can totally do this. So like, I know you can, it just feels really weird. But I don't think I've got enough fungus gnats in my home at the minute. Thank goodness, for my pings to be adequately fed. So I got myself some of this. And so later this week, we can do a scary thing and feed my pings for the first time that like manually, if that makes sense. So those are the main things I have. We'll see if some more stuff comes up later in the week. I can always add to the list. But yeah, that is it for me today. Hi, good morning. It is a Wednesday today. The main thing on today's agenda is I'm actually going over to a friend's house because they've been suffering with chronic illness for a little bit and they've really hit a rough patch. And I was like, you know what? I can help. And so I'm going to go over there and do some plant care with them for them and hang out for a little bit. Just generally have a bit of a plant care day up there. But first, I've got a package to open from the lovely Moss and Coral. So one thing that I wouldn't say struggling. Struggle is a strong word for this. I am aware and dislike how the like square aeroid tower pots don't fit well into normal cache pots. Like you just can't find a good one. And this is the best pot I've ever found for an aeroid tower pot, and even still it looks a little bit funny. And so I've been looking for a solution for that as well as the round ones, but I haven't found a proper round one yet. But the lovely Moss and Coral reached out to me and was like, I have the solution for these square ones. So they're a UK small business, which I love supporting small businesses where possible, and especially local small businesses. And so they've sent me a package to share with you, and I'm so excited to see what's inside. Ooh. So this is what we've got here. Some pots. Oh, okay. We went for the big ones. Oh my gosh, she sent me up loads. Okay, so basically what they've done is they have measured and 3D printed cash pots to cover the aeroid tower pots. Look at this. Boom. Perfect fit. Looks amazing. It's got a little tab here so you can pull it out easily. But oh my goodness, that fits so well. And it looks so good in there. Like, look at that. It just looks perfect. And the small one here as well. Oh my goodness. They asked me if, what color I wanted it. Black was obviously the choice I went with. But again, the small one. Boom. Oh my goodness. And now I don't have to like worry about it tipping over as much because it like actually fits in here. Oh my goodness. Amazing. Oh, it just sits. And then also a big boy. Oh my goodness. For like the really big aeroid tower pots, for the big ones. That is amazing. Fantastic. I didn't pull one of those to show you, but oh my goodness, they sent so many. And even, oh, I don't have a small one on me right this second, but look at the little dinky one for the baby pots. These are so freaking cute and like really nice and minimalistic, which is just my style. So now I've got a bunch of these that I can put my plants in. Very, very excited about those. Pots with the wedges in the bottom. What's that mean? Ah, okay, so I don't know how well you're doing. There you go, you can see it there. So these pots have wedges in the bottom, and so the cash pot fits a little bit higher up, or like the nursery pot fits a little bit higher up in it. Oh yeah, they're just a little bit taller than the other ones, sorry. Yeah, they're just like that little bit taller, and that is so that you can have a water reservoir in the bottom of the pot, and it's not like sitting in the water, which is fantastic. Oh my goodness, amazing. These are so cool. And so, since this one is in soil, not semi-hydro, oh my gosh, look how perfect that fit is. This is fantastic. And oh, the sweetest thing. Also included some little name things. Oh my god, they're holographic and sparkly. Do you see that? With good growing on them. Oh my goodness. So freaking sweet. So yeah, that is from Moss and Coral. I am so excited about these pots. I really think they're going to be a bit of a, I wouldn't say game changer, that's a bit strong, because like, let's be honest, having the right pots is not like an end all be all. Like it's fine to not, but it is really nice to be able to have something that fits things nicely, because it just looks, in my opinion, so much better, and you don't need to worry about trying to find the right pot for the nursery pot. So I really love these. I think these are a fantastic addition to the collection. Thank you so much, Moss and Coral. And they've also given me a discount code to share with all of you. I'll put the details on the screen. I think the code is Good Growing for some percentage off, and I think that goes until the end of February. So if you want to try these for yourself, I think I said they are UK based. I don't know if they ship internationally, but we'll see. But they are really cool, and I feel like they're the perfect thing for the job. Thanks. Okie dokie. Hello, I'm ready to do some repotting today. I have laid out my table of everything that I think I need. Hopefully I won't have to get up to change things about. But I have some ficus Scheveriana. I've got two, which I mean, I'm kind of annoyed that when I potted them, I divided them out. Kind of annoying, but I want to put these two into one pot so I have fewer plants. My ficus elastica taniki, I'll talk about it when I get into it, but it needs a repot at this point, and the longer I wait to take it out of this thing with the bottleneck, the worse it is. And then I also got a couple of plants from my friend yesterday who I was helping do a massive clear out with, and I have a very lovely variegated chiapense syngonium, which I'm obsessed with, which is just the bottom cutting of theirs, and I am just going to chop and propagate that. Move that to the side for now. And then they also had this, which they weren't wanting anymore. This here is a dragon scale mint variegated, and I thought, as to not add new plants to the collection, I could put it in with my non-mint variegated, my just normal variegated dragon scale, and we could put them together and they could look cute in the same pot. So that is the plan for today, and I can talk you through as I do them. So I think the first one that makes sense to do is probably the most difficult one, the taniki. So basically what happened is I put this into semi-hydro because it was growing really, really slowly and not very well, and I was like, okay, it's a slow grower for me, fine. I'll put it into something that it can live in for a while, aka this lovely glass. It was a terrarium, now it's just a glass container with a quite intense bottleneck. I was like, okay, I'll put it in this lovely container because it's not gonna be all that, it grows so slowly. It won't be an issue. And I do know that putting stuff in bottleneck containers for no drainage is not the best idea, especially if you ever plan to repot them, but I didn't know if I was ever going to need to repot this one because it had been growing so slowly for me that it's kind of like, well, I doubt it's going to need a repot anytime soon. Not that it is soon after that, right now, but I kind of regret it now, which is a shame because it looks so cute. It's kind of adorable, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it out without breaking the glass. So hopefully I can. It might just take a bit of a second. Because I know these roots have expanded in here to fill out the space, which makes sense. That's what plants do. I'm also wondering if I should prune the top of this as well. The shame is just it's doing the best it ever has been, and so, and so I don't really want to mess with a good thing, but at the same time, I mean, I think this is working fine. It might be not amazing on the roots for it, because I am kind of really getting up in there, but I think it'll be okay. But folks, this is why you don't use a bottleneck for no drainage. I have since learned my lesson, and I should probably just donate this container. Somebody else can use it as a vase or something. It's hard to hold as well. There we go. Very good. Look at that. Lovely root ball there. Definitely some broken off roots, but I think it's fine. But what I'm gonna repot it into is this lovely cylindrical container that doesn't have any lip on it, and it is a little bit taller, which I think will be good. I might try and pop it quite low in the pot, because I don't particularly need it very high up. And I just have my box of, oh, I should get an indicator. Let me grab a tall indicator really quick. This one's probably a little bit better. Yeah. And this is semi-hydro that I boiled the other day, actually. I didn't end up showing it in here because I feel like I've shown y'all me boiling semi-hydro so many times that it just like feels a bit old at this point. And I mean, I guess I show you repotting things over and over again, so maybe it isn't, but it just felt, it's like not the most fun task to show, so I didn't. But that's perfect. And we can just fill around it. The question still stands, do I want to chop it? I'm kind of tempted to say yes in hopes that it branches out a little bit if I do. I feel like it'd be the best bet for it, because if I want it to branch out ever, I think I'll need to chop it. I mean, I suppose I could prop the top and put it back in the bottom. Chop it right about there. Ah! Look at that. It looks so different now. It's just a bit of a shame. Do I try and propagate this? My heart is saying yes, but my brain is saying no. It will get bigger again. It will get bigger again. Oh my gosh, it's leaking elastic. Gross. I think I should throw it away. Okay, that's the plan. Big decisions, but I think the correct decision. So there we go. Oh my gosh, it's really leaking. I need to make sure that Cosmo doesn't go after that. I might just put it in the other room because I don't want him to lick the sap, because it is, like, I'm pretty sure toxic and an irritant, so not ideal. And now we can pot the Shibarianas together. Oh my god. Look at these roots, y'all. What the heck? Those are not gonna be able to come out through. Okay, guess we're root pruning. Oh, sad. I don't even know how that has gone through there. It has literally grown around the plastic. Crazy. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna have to hoover. So this chunky root went through one of these small holes here. Crazy. But we got her out with only minimal damage. And then this one should be really easy. I'm gonna put these into this guy because I need something a little bit wider to accommodate both of them. It is still a bit tight, but I think it's fine. There we go. It's not perfect, but what is? Okay, now for the fun part, the new plants, which I'm pretty sure have just been in, or at least this one's just been in semi-hydro this whole time. Oh my gosh, there's so much algae. The roots on this do look really, really nice. And the funny thing is, I think we got these from the same TC seller from the Eden Lab. They're just slightly different plants. One's a mint and one's just a normal variegated. So it's kind of like they're being reunited. Not that they're the same, but like, you know what I mean. The roots on mine are looking good too. And I am just gonna use the glass jar that the Zerowater was in, because why not? And put a little indicator in, and then we can kind of just put you two in like that. I think that looks good. I mean, the hard part is getting the semi-hydro to go in and around all the roots, but I'm sure I can make it happen. I'm just using this little stick thing to kind of poke around gently being the key word here, poke around the roots to try and make sure that the air pockets are being filled. It is a bit of a delicate process, so like obviously if you do this, be careful because you don't want to jam the roots too much, but it is a useful thing to get things into gaps because you don't want to leave too many gaps in there, you know? Okay, look at that. It looks so good. I mean, they're obviously facing different directions because they've been in different conditions, but I'm hoping that it'll kind of perk up into the sort of the same direction in a little bit. And then the chia pens. I feel like this is the one that I'm least certain about. What I'm tempted to do, I don't know if this is the right option, is to chop it up all the way and soil propagate it. I don't know if this is something that can be soil propagated. I don't see why it wouldn't be. But like it's not what I would necessarily. I don't know. I have never tried to soil propagate Begonias before, so this is kind of new territory for me here, which is kind of fun. But I think, like, why wouldn't it work? I do have a clear pot here because I find that the easiest to soil prop in because I want to be able to see the roots. And I'm going to be using Monstera and philodendron soil from Soil Ninja. Yeah, I know they make a Syngonium mix, but I don't have it, and this is kind of my general go-to soil, and it's the soil that I'm most familiar with, so I feel like it's what I would be most comfortable rooting things in, if that makes sense. So I am just going to fill this up all the way, because I can kind of just stick the cuttings into it. Yeah, I'm just going to make a hole with that same little tool I was using before. Make a hole, pop the cutting in, and repeat for all of them. Just making sure that the bottom node is underneath the soil. And I was quite lucky in this, that a lot of them had nodes that were empty, and so I didn't have to remove any sort of leaves at all, which is good. I do kind of feel like I want to tie these together, just using a bit of Velcro to go around all of them, and then I can fill up soil around. And yes, I do feel a bit weird about adding a new plant to my collection because, like, I'm trying very hard not to. And so it took all of my power to only come home with these 2 plants yesterday because my friend has so many beautiful things, and because they're trying to downsize, like it would have been so easy to just be like, I'll have it, instead of, I don't know, it would have just been really easy. And so it was difficult, but my justification for this one is that it is literally a wish list plant of mine. So, and I like know where I can put it in the cabinet. And kind of same with this one. While it wasn't a wish list plant, I knew I could join it with the other one, and so it's not actually adding an extra like plant to the collection, if that makes sense. So, oh, there we go. We have done a very good repot. I'm going to water these now, and we can put them in their places. Happy Friday! Whoop, whoop. I am so glad that the week is almost over. Joe's been in the office all week this week, and I miss him. I'm used to him going in like 1, maybe 2 days a week, and he's been in for 4, and I'm like, I'm lonely here by myself. Like, yeah, it's great to be able to take care of my plants however I want, but like, I miss my husband. Oh, but it is Friday today. Last day in this week of plant chores, and first things first, I am going to water. It's actually 8:45 at the minute in the morning, and I'm going to water all of the things in and around the IKEA cabinet because that is what needs to happen. Oh my goodness, I'm already seeing some things that like I suppose I could update you on, but I do want to do a walkthrough next week. I'll do a couple quick things. I potted up a bunch of Alocasia mitchelletiana / Frydek corms in my last week's repot and chat video, and turns out, even though most of them hadn't popped out leaves yet, turns out almost all of them are the variegated kind. I think this is the only one that's not variegated in here, which is kind of crazy. I didn't quite realize how prolific the Frydek corms are. They are insane. And like they grow so quickly. So yeah, they're doing really well, and the variegation balance on these looks really, really nice as well. So I was excited about that. Other thing, I'm a little bit sad about this one because I'm a bit worried that I'm gonna lose this leaf, which isn't necessarily a surprise because that's what happens when you like ship a baby Alocasia. But someone very, very kindly as a gift sent me a variegated Alocasia black stem. And this was the main leaf on it, but it looks like it is going a little bit yellow now, unfortunately. The following leaf isn't variegated at all. I don't mind. This is a wish list plant for me regardless, and so I don't really mind if it's variegated or not. But like the variegation just added like a little bit of extra specialness to it. And it's in this like tiny, tiny self-watering pot here, which is super cute. So I've just refilled that reservoir, but I'm a little bit worried that that leaf's gonna go. it's fine. I don't need to worry. Having just a normal black stem is perfectly acceptable to me. But yeah, so those are the couple of things I noticed off the bat down here. There's probably more updates, but like I said, I will get to them in a future walkthrough, because I feel like now that I've rearranged the entire flat, I can do a whole walkthrough of how everything is now. Maybe even a full plant tour, because it's been a year since I did my last one. That's a shout. Should I do a full plant tour? Let me know down below in the comments if you want like a full tour. Put a green heart emoji in the comments if that is something that you want to see, because then I know that that's something that you like. So anyways, let's just get to watering in here. And again, I have put fertilizer in this water again because I'm trying to be on top of things this week. This lighting here isn't fantastic, so sorry, but I think it is slightly easier to pull stuff out to water them. But unfortunately, because of the like rearrange we've done, I have had to put some things back into the cabinet as well, like the Wilbur Graves and the Nova Ghost, which I had previously taken out. Because like in order to make new space, I have had to put them back in, which is fine. Like I'm not worried about it, but I think it would be, is that gonna go down? Yeah, I think it would be better because they don't actually need to be in the cabinet. I think it'd be better if they were somewhere else. Oh my goodness, you're doing so well, little guy. Love it. Okay. Shall I just speed through these things, and then if there's any like major updates, I can tell you. This chunk still hasn't like done anything. So this is my Anthurium Regal mid-cut, and it's not rooted, but it's also not rotted. Like it still feels firm. It's only dark on the bottom because that is where the water line was, but it's not done anything. It looked like it was gonna do something here. It didn't actually do anything. I don't know. Should I just bin it? Maybe. Do I need to have more of that? Because both the bottom and the top have put out new flowers now. Not flowers, leaves now, which is fantastic. So I don't need to worry about like losing the plant, which was a little bit of a concern at one point. Not like a major concern, but like I just didn't want to lose them. That's the bottom done. Now we can do the top. The top is much less crowded. Do this guy. Make sure that the pole is nice and moist as well. Looks like it's got a new leaf coming out as well. So good. And then the last one that I need to do is the spider plant back there. But I don't just water that with average tap water because I'm trying to be like on top of it. I water it with the water from my Zerowater pitcher. So let me mix some of that up with the fertilizer as well because I want it to be fertilized, and we can water that one. So far so good with this one as well. It's been doing well. I wouldn't say it's gone badly or like amazingly. It's just fine. I also have been cutting off these guys, the like things that would grow babies because I don't necessarily want any babies. So let me grab the scissors as well as the water. I put a little bit of fertilizer in, not loads, just because the water pitcher obviously doesn't fill it up very far, but this should be perfect. It's definitely thirstier than I would have thought. Like, I get messages from the smart plant sensor, this guy, the willow, more frequently than I would have otherwise expected to water, because I know as well some people say you can like leave it until the plant gets pale or whatever, which yeah, you can, but is that going to be the happiest thing for the plant? I'm not positive it would be, and so I haven't let it like droop all the way. I haven't let it go pale or anything. I'm just trying to be as good of a plant parent as possible for this one, because I would really love to have success, because I've literally never had success with spider plants before. I know everyone says they're like super easy, but it hasn't been the case for me. And I think as long as this one doesn't get pests and I'm following the instructions of this, I should be okay. Hopefully. There we go. Hopefully that was enough water. Potentially it could be that the water pitcher, it might need more than one full pitcher each time it gets watered. I will experiment with that and see if it might want a little bit more, and that could be why it is not, like, it could be why I'm watering it more frequently than I was thinking I might have to. Like, that would make sense. Also, really quick, can we talk about how this boy is laying? Excuse me, where is your spine? Do you have a spine? It doesn't look like it. His belly is like all the way up against a radiator as well. What a cutie. And his legs are like facing this way. He does that. He like gives a full 180 twist in his spine, which is kind of crazy. And then also Cleo is up here snoring away. Cuties. Okay, so here's how my pings are doing. I think they're doing pretty well. I might want to give this a bit of a refresh sometime soon. I feel like I don't necessarily need both big rocks in here. And then same with this guy. He's kind of outgrown his little zone. And I could probably even divide him because I think he's got 2 heads at this point. But basically what I was told to do was feed it with fish food. So I've heard you can like take this and just sprinkle it on the sort of leaves and then mist the plant to make sure it's got moisture. Or I saw somebody else adding it to water, making a little bit of like a paste thing and kind of pipetting it onto the leaves. So I think I'm gonna do it that way, and I am gonna use the Zerowater pitcher water because I think it just makes more sense. If they don't want it for drinking, why would they want it for eating? But I'm just going to open this and tap a little bit. Oh, is that too much? I don't know. Tap a little bit of food in just to like get it nice and moist. And then if I pipette it, there's food in there. And when I drop it, there'll be food in those drops. I've zoomed you in real close, and I'm just going to like pipette a little bit on a few of the leaves. Obviously avoiding the center. I think that works. And I'm just gonna do this for all of them. Oh, I've gotta be quite careful on these little guys. But even the water has like, obviously a little bit of the residue, because I think some of the food is dissolved. But I'm really curious to see how this works. I will keep y'all updated on it, because like in theory it makes sense, because they're not getting enough protein through normal like flies, so they need to be getting it from somewhere else, and I just have to give them that something else, if that makes sense. So I've done all of these. Like I said, I don't know how it'll work, but hopefully it goes well and they like it. Oh, don't drip, please. I do think I should do a, maybe I'll do like a full ping update video, I could get a couple more pings in and kind of remake a pingdom, make a second pingdom, and do a little refresh of them, because this one definitely has like some leaves that I could probably take off. I just have been a bit lazy about it, honestly. So that's my bad, but I will keep you informed on how this goes and whether or not they like them. I have like heard of people who've done this and then their pings have like bloomed quite quickly afterwards, so it very well could be a great thing for them. It makes me nervous though. It feels like a really weird thing to do. Also, these are some of the only plants that I don't have like, or I haven't found the right spot for yet in my collection, because Cosmo does like to kind of go after them, and so I need to make sure that they are out of his reach, and they were in the old setup, but I haven't quite figured out where that is in the new setup, so I've got some work to do there, but for now they've just been living in the bathroom out of the way, and I just need to make sure that they get enough light, which is the hard part. But back to the bathroom for now. Okay, so that was the last thing that I had on my list. So woohoo, we have completed what I wanted to do this week. I feel like I've got a lot done, and so thank you for hanging out with me while I did it. I hope you potentially got some plant chores done as well. If you did, let me know what you did, and I can be proud of you in the comments. Before I sign off, I wanted to say a huge thank you to the newest member of my good growing fam over on Patreon, Teeny. Thanks for joining in. I really hope you love it over there. If anyone else is interested in joining my Patreon, it is £3 a month. And for that, you get pretty much everything that I include, including bonus content and live chats, access to the Discord server. I get to know you better, you get to know me better. It's all a fantastic time, but absolutely no pressure if that's not your thing. If it is, the link is in the description down below. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up down below and leave a comment on other houseplanty things you'd like me to talk about in the future, and subscribe for more. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to keep growing. Bye!